Here we got the Phoenician Empire. And damn, look, that's cool. We got like the old core Phoenician parts here, the Iberian stuff, and the stuff that will become Carthage. That are just so cool borders for an empire. I mean, it's a bit random that these guys over here with their little strip of land control all of that, but I mean, historically, yeah, sure, why not? Also, if I'm sounding a bit sick because I'm sick, I think that would be very tough to fight if you have to island hop from like Sardinia to Sicily to North Africa and then all the way here to the real core Phoenicia. State and democracy in Africa and the Middle East. And we see, in terms of democracy, it's not the best place to be. I mean, there are only Israel, Mauritius, Cape Verde, Botswana, South Africa, Namibia, Lesotho, and Ghana seen as democracies. And we will probably see in the future some countries democratizing, some countries will fall back into autocracy. But we just can hope that democracy will win in this continent and not corruption and dictatorship. Which countries would protect which countries? So let's start with the Germans. The Germans would protect the Brits, the French, the Croatians, the Greeks, the Polish, the Latvians, the Finns and the Swedes, but would not defend Turkey, Romania, Ukraine and the USA. Okay. Majority of the Germans would not defend the USA. That's interesting. With the French it's basically the same, except they would defend the US. And the Brits would just defend everybody except Turkey. They aren't too sure about that. And Americans would basically defend the entirety of Europe. Also interesting to consider, it's from March 2019, so it probably has changed with the Ukraine war and the increasing threat from Russia and China. The percentage of 25 to 29-year-olds still living with their parents. And I'm a bit shocked by that. Like, North Macedonia, 71% still live with their parents. Also with a lot of the Balkans, it's around 60, even to 70%. Turkey with like 44%. Also the Iberian Peninsula, very high. And then most of like Western and Mid Europe is like around 20 to 30%. And then, the Baltics also comparably low. But the Nordics just kill it with like Denmark with only 2.4% and like the other ones a bit higher. I thought it would be all way lower. In Germany you like get your own apartment at like 21, maybe 22. At least I heard that from like my environment. Where are the Slavic languages official? And we have in the East, the East Slavic languages, like in Russia, Belarus, Ukraine. Then the West Slavic, like all of the Visegrad countries except Hungary. No, Hungary speaks like related to Finnish language. They don't speak like Slavic language. And then in the south we have the South Slavic languages. All of that has historical links all the way back to the medieval ages with, for example, the Bulgarian, Serbian Empire, all of that, and Yugoslavia. And then the rest you probably know why. GDP per capita growth of the EU plus UK relatively to major world regions and advanced economies. So how much your country's economy grew, or your region's economy grew between 2008 and 2023. So the EU actually grew by almost 70% in that time. And you see, most of the world doesn't even reach that. We have like the Middle East and Central Asia is way lower than I thought. I expected like 50%, but they only have 30. And then the US pretty close to that. And then the only regions that grew more than the EU were emerging and developing countries in Asia like India, Southeast Asia, Indonesia, and obviously China. Then South Korea. It actually grew quite a bit. From 2008, 1 billion to now 1.8 billion. Interesting, I thought the EU would grow much slower, and I expected sub-Saharan Africa to just explode. In which year were homosexual relationships legal in the whole country? And we see in Europe it's everywhere legal, but we already see it here and down in Africa and a lot of the Middle East and Iran. Also Central Asia, it's still illegal, at least in some parts of the country. But generally speaking, it's still pretty bad. at least for countries like Germany with 1969, that's so late, or like the Brits and or Ireland with 1993, Norway with 1972. I can see like the whole Soviet thing, they weren't too friendly about that, but Western European countries could have done that a lot earlier. Like if France did it in 1792, why couldn't it make like Austria, which is actually the latest on the map? I think it's Bosnia and Iraq in 2003. Where in the world can you find modern slavery? And they mean with modern slavery like what happened during the World Championship in Qatar. You have to work for 16 hours a day, aren't allowed to leave the country, child labor, unhuman conditions. You get no real food or water, and they just completely exploit you just for your working force. We kind of see that tends to be the richer a country, the less slavery is used. But the thing that we have to take into account that many of these, if not all, rich countries still get products from countries which obviously use slavery. So it's kind of wrong to say that they used slavery. We nowhere have slavery, but we still trade with them and help these companies that use slavery to grow and make profit. I know that many countries trying to fight against that, but still there just haven't been done enough in the last years, and that will hopefully improve in the near future. Here we have countries which tend to be more extroverted and more introverted. In this pink-red thing, we got more extroverted, so like Spain, Switzerland, Netherlands, and then a lot of the Balkans, Turkey and Ukraine, also Moldova. And the introverts are basically in the rest of the country. With the most more extroverts than introverts is actually in Lithuania, with 11.1% more introverts than extroverts, and the opposite thing is in Albania with 5% more extroverts than introverts. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of true. I feel like the majority of people I met were more introverted than very extroverted, which fits with data shown here. And here I just have for you the Central Park from above. Look at the beautiful piece of land, enjoy the moment, and we move on. The true size of Argentina, with actually WW1 borders, at least the European borders. And yeah, we can see it's just way bigger than you would expect it to be. You can fit like half of Western Europe. At least I think you can fit all of Western Europe in it. Yeah, you can fit basically easily all of Western Europe inside of Argentina. The Finnish name for countries. So if you have Russia with Venenia, Ukraine with Ukraine, Germany with Saxa, and then again what? For the UK, had you this Kuningas Kunta. Right. Many of the South European countries actually sound pretty similar, with Portugali, España, Italia, Grecia, and Turkey. Turkey. But then again, the Netherlands with Alan Combat. Yeah. Even their neighbors don't sound anything near. Denmark with Tanska, Sweden with Ronsi, Norway with Ranja. Noria. Interesting. Oh, but Kosovo is literally the same. Same with Slovenia and Croatia. Also with Serbia and Montenegro. Basically all of the Western Balkan. Inflation rates 2022 around the world. And yeah, that was, in terms of inflation, that was a pretty tough year. Normally in the EU, France, Germany, England, inflation is around 2, maybe 3%, sometimes even lower. And this year we got France 6%, Germany almost 9%, UK 10%, Poland 16%, Romania 16%. North America handled that pretty well, at least the US and Canada. Africa, I think they always have high inflation. I don't know how much the war in Ukraine affected them so much in terms of inflation. And if you suddenly, I don't know, maybe you hear rain, that's because it suddenly a complete storm began. I don't know why, but it's not there. If you hear the rain, enjoy, because it's always very calming. So, now we got the top 10 lowest inflation rates. Switzerland, Taiwan, Vanuatu, the Seychelles, Panama, Oman, there we have the 2% inflation goal, Hong Kong, China, Macau, and then South Sudan with almost 12% minus. Oh, I don't think that's too good either. And only 4 economies in the entire world were under the 2% target. That's not that good. Let's hope that will go on in the next few years. I think the inflation in Europe will go down 2024 or something again. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. You can click on the next video, it will be a similar reaction. Have a great day, bye!